Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me on another book reading on Reading with Queen Bee. Today I'm going to be reading you the story of Mr. Rogers and His Neighborhood. You Are My Friend. The words are by Aimee Reid and pictures by Matt Phelan. So I want you to listen to the story, and at the end I want you to think about how can you be a good friend. And this goes along with our 30-day kindness challenge. You Are My Friend, the story of Mr. Rogers and His Neighborhood. Words by Aimee Reid and pictures by Matt Phelan. So I'm going to put on my glasses. In the springtime, when everything was growing and green, Freddie Rogers had to stay inside. Flowers made him sniffle, plants made him sneeze. Freddie had allergies. Freddie had other illnesses too. He spent many days in bed. Sometimes he had to stay inside for weeks at a time. So if you know what allergies are, my son suffers from allergies, and seasonal allergies are, like, for example, if you're allergic to maybe trees, pollen. Some people have food allergies to peanut butter, shrimp. Those are allergies. And Freddie, he had allergies, so he pretty much had to stay inside. Being sick made it hard to make friends. Often, when Freddie felt sad or mad, lonely, or scared, he kept his feelings inside, but he wanted someone to know how he felt. Freddie found that he could talk about his feelings with puppets. He gathered them around him on his bed. That way, it seemed as though he was with a whole group of friends. When Freddie went to school, sometimes he was bullied. Neighborhood boys yelled mean words at him as they chased him down the street. Ooh, that was not nice. So you can see there, Freddie has a red sweater. He's running away from those bullies. And you already know, if someone's a bully, get help. Tell your parents right away. Tell an adult that you trust, so that way they can help you and guide you, and they can help you solve that problem with this bully. Grown-ups told Freddie to pretend the mean words didn't hurt, but they did. Hiding his feelings didn't work. They just grew stronger. Sometimes, when he was all alone, Freddie cried. So there's Freddie, and it looks like he's going into a piano room. Freddie found it difficult to speak out about his feelings, but he learned he could express them on the piano. If he was angry, he played loud, low notes that sounded like thunder. He played high, sweet notes for happiness. Freddie felt better after he shared his feelings through his music. So that's a good way to get out your feelings, with music. So there's different coping strategies that you can have to be able to learn how to cope with all those feelings that you feel inside. Freddie's mother gave him a way to deal with his worried feelings. She told him to look for people who were helping. Oh, that's nice. Freddie began to look for helpers right in his own neighborhood. He liked to visit Mama Belle Frampton. She welcomed him and showed him how to make toast sticks all by himself. Freddie liked the good feeling of learning something new from his neighbor. Ooh, so instead of, going out and playing and being in this bully zone, he actually went to go help people now. Kept him busy. Fred's grandfather, McFeely, was an important friend. Fred loved to visit his grandparents' farm with its big stone wall. So you can see the stone wall, very big. One day, Fred went into the room where all the adults were talking. No one looked his way. Fred asked if he could walk on the big stone wall. Then everyone looked his way. Ooh, so do you think they're going to let him walk on that big stone wall? Let's see what happens. Most of the grown-ups said, "No, you might get hurt." But Grandpa McFeely said, "Yes." Ooh, let's see what happens. Fred climbed and walked and then even ran on the wall. Ooh, how daring. And there is Fred on the wall. When at last Fred came back inside, he had a skinned knee, but he was happy. His grandpa told Fred that he liked him just the way he was. He said Fred was special and that just by being himself, Fred made the day special too. Fred let those words sink deep inside him. As he thought about them, he felt braver. Ooh, so that was a nice speech that his grandpa gave him. So he just told him that he was special just the way he was. So there's his grandpa. He began to speak up. He tried new things. Ooh, so he became more braver and trying new things out. He reached out and made friends, even with people who weren't like him. One day when Fred was grown up, he saw a television program. People were throwing pies in each other's faces. Fred did not like the pie throwing, but he thought television could be wonderful. What if instead of showing people fighting, TV can show people helping one another? Right then, Fred decided that was what he wanted to do. So now he got an idea for a television show. So there's the TV Fred was watching. Fred created a television show for children. He remembered all of the people who had helped him as he was growing up. He thought of his neighbor Mama Belle Frampton, who was always glad to see him. He wanted to share that good feeling with children everywhere. Fred wrote a happy, welcoming song to sing at the beginning of each show. He called his program Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and he called the people who watched it his neighbors. Wow. So from all of everything that he went through with the bullying and then his grandpa helping him and instilling courage and bravery in him, he got this idea for a TV show. So there's Mr. Rogers directing and probably producing this great TV show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. At first, Fred felt shy to be in front of the camera, but he found out that his grandpa was right. Just by being himself, Fred made his show special. Fred told stories with puppets. He played music that he wrote. He invited helpers to show what they liked to do or explain how things worked. Fred took his television camera to visit a farmer who had milk cows. He asked a friend to show how people dig with big machines. So the same thing that Fred did when he was little, he's doing it now, but on a TV show. How cool is that? Another helper played the cello, and another shared how to cook. Fred explained to his neighbors that feelings were important. You can talk about them, or you can show your feelings in other ways. If you were mad, you could pound clay or run fast. If you were sad, you could sing a song soft and low. If you were happy, you could dance. Fred helped people learn to like themselves. He helped them to be good neighbors. Fred never forgot how his grandpa made him feel. Over and over, he would look right into the camera, just like I'm looking right into the camera, and pass along the important words that changed his life. You've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. The end. So I just want to say Mr. Rogers was a show that I used to watch when I was a young girl, and it was just an amazing show. And yes, he did show a lot of people kindness through his puppets, through his characters, and all the ideas were from his childhood, what he went through. So he was able to create this one bad moment into an amazing show that has impacted a lot of kids, young and old. So I really hope you enjoyed this book reading, and go to your seesaw and answer the question, what makes a good friend? So again, thank you so much for joining me on another book reading on Reading with Queen Bee. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. And please remember, if you want to keep buzzing about books, keep reading with Queen Bee. Bye.